6 starts with breaking news.
That breaking news this morning, 2 people are in the hospital after a crash. Officers were called here to 40th and Cumming just after 6 o'clock this morning. We're taking a live look at the scene right now. You can see police still there. We are told the victim's injuries are not considered to be life-threatening. Of course, we will keep you updated on air and online as soon as we learn more information. Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Cerise Cole.
And I'm Erin Hartley, joined by meteorologist Jarrett Lansford and Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord. First alert once again to the rain chances today.
Yeah, so yesterday we started with rain, dried out in the afternoon. Today's going to be kind of a flip-flop of that, and we're starting off pretty quiet, and you can see a beautiful sunrise out there, a little bit of valley fog showing up as well. Jarrett's going to touch more on that and where it's having the biggest impacts, but we're at 64 degrees right now, a little bit of a southeast breeze. Now, what's going to happen today is this little batch of showers down to the south won't have a huge impact. That's going to likely move to the northeast and out of our area. But you go a little farther south, and this development down here in Kansas, that will move north, and that's bringing our rain chance for the afternoon. It'll lead clouds out ahead of it and then fill in with some rain chances later on today. Low risk of severe weather. 1 out of 5 may graze our eastern counties. We'll watch in Iowa to see if that can turn into anything more, but I think a better bet of even some low-end severe weather is probably east of us in the I-35 corridor. But you're going to pick up the kids. I think this is probably the biggest impact to today, because after 2 o'clock, the shower and thunderstorm chances will go up. And that means kids could be walking home in rain and some downpours. And also you could be driving home in the same. So while the big impacts were to the morning commute yesterday, the bigger impacts likely to the evening commute today. And you can see how, as we go through the course of the afternoon, there comes the storm chances by 2 o'clock. Still to the southwest, that's when we'll likely spike. We'll get our high temperature of about 76, 77 early in the afternoon. Then the rain will come in and cool us off and drop the numbers down by several degrees, down to near 70. But you notice that 2 to 5 o'clock window, that's when a good chunk of the rain moves through, and then by 7, most of it is out of here. Could still be some lingering shower activity on the back edge of this. It'd be pretty spotty, but don't be surprised if there's a little lingering activity this evening for your Thursday evening plans. And then you look over the next few days, it's mostly stuff after 2 o'clock today, and then 76 on Friday, mostly evening storms there that could impact high school football around the area on Friday as well. And then we have some more rain chances on Saturday to keep an eye on too. All these are going to try to keep us a little bit cooler. Little opportunities to warm here and there, but most of us probably stay 80 or cooler.
Kind of a big game at Memorial Stadium this Saturday. How will it likely impact that Michigan game?
I will say the best rain chances are during the morning on Saturday, but there could still be an isolated shower, maybe a thunder shower sneak in the early afternoon hours. So we're not talking heavy rain, but there could be some downpours. You look over the next couple of days. This is rainfall all the way through Saturday's rain chances. Most of us stay less than an inch, but there could be a couple little pockets that get up over an inch, and that's why we're paying attention, because each of these downpours could cause some problems, especially if they line up with your tailgating plans down in Lincoln. That's when I think the best chances of rain will be, during the morning tailgate. But there are possibilities all the way right up to kickoff. We keep a small chance in there at kickoff. I do think they'll all move east after that, and then we get a chance to warm into the upper 70s, perhaps near 80 degrees with a little bit of a south breeze. It does look like the wind is even backed off a little bit too. So again, the game right now doesn't look like it'll have huge implications, as most of the rain should be before that, whether you're in Omaha or in Lincoln. Then 82 on Sunday, 82 on Monday, more rain chances, more thunderstorm chances, and again, a lot of 70s and 80s on the map here as we go through the course of the week, and likely to have some spotty thunderstorms. Again, none of those days are all-day washouts. I want to stress that. They're just chances each day, and then as we get closer, we break down the time frame for each one. I'm probably going to have several mornings that are just as pleasant as what we have out there right now.
Okay. In the meantime, let's get an update on traffic this morning. You've been keeping a close eye on a crash that's not too severe, we want to tell people.
Yeah, we haven't been seeing too much in the way of slowdowns as a result of this here within the last half hour or so. But I do want to still first alert you, because we were just showing you the live picture from 40th and Cumming. You could see that there were still emergency crews on hand. So you want to continue to use caution around 40th and Cumming with that situation. But traffic getting through on Cumming without too much of an issue. So if that's a route that you use for the morning drive, you can get through there. Just maybe check up a little bit as you go through there and be prepared for some of those emergency crews that are still on hand. The JFK has had some pretty decent delays showing up from about Q down to about the Chandler Childs area as you're heading northbound. Now this has improved a little bit here over the last 5 to 10 minutes, but this was really slow a little bit ago and you're still seeing some delays. So be ready for that as you're heading out the door. Aside from that, it's the fog that we're watching, and it's very hit or miss in the coverage. You can see that we're near zero visibility on the east side of Council Bluffs. Meanwhile, near downtown, it's not looking bad at all. So just be prepared for that to vary as you're driving this morning. You could come across some pockets where it's a little harder to see than others. I will say the concentration of the thickest fog has been a little bit more so off to the north of the metro, and that makes sense. That's where we've had more rain the last couple of days, and so there's more moisture to get that to develop. So Harlan, Denison, as you're into some of those areas, be ready for some of that fog to be a little more prevalent than some other spots. Here's what it's looking like as you're heading out the door. A little bit of a slowdown as you're heading through Florence northbound. You're trying to get up towards 680. Watch for that as an area where we're seeing some consistent delays. Most areas just heavy traffic is what we're looking at, and I'll continue to track how things are going through the course of the morning. Of course, we do have plenty of construction around the area, and we'll walk through some of those areas as well this morning, but it's definitely looking a lot better, that map, than what we were seeing about 24 hours ago when we were going out the door, so that's something you could take with you.
Okay, Jared, thank you. We're getting new details this morning about a deadly explosion at the Horizon Biofuels Center in Fremont that rattled a Nebraska community.
Federal investigators say the terrible tragedy should have never happened. They add preliminary evidence shows it was a combustible wood dust explosion, which they describe as a common and completely avoidable hazard. According to the report, workers told the agency the building operated normally the day before the incident. Workers at nearby businesses reported they tried to get into the building and heard calls for help. 32-year-old Dylan Danielson and his 2 young daughters died in the blast.
So exactly what is a dust explosion? A fire safety expert explained it kind of like this. It's a regular fire requires 3 components. Those are oxygen, fuel, and an ignition source. In a dust explosion, you need 2 more components. Those are confinement and dispersion. Pair that all together and it can cause a rapid combustion. Experts say that dust explosions can happen with all kinds of products, but especially with wood and food like sugar and coffee.
Earlier this year, a nearby business filed a complaint saying they were concerned about the amount of dust making its way towards cars in their parking lot. Now, these photos were taken by a state official before the blast. You can see dust piling up on those cars. There was also dust on machines and collecting near a ditch. At the time of the inspection, the document shows the plant was shut down due to extreme temps and maintenance issues. Now, the agency is still working to identify what caused that dust to disperse, the conditions at the center prior to the explosion, and whether any of the equipment failed. The results will be shared with OSHA. For a full breakdown of the report and all of our extensive coverage on the explosion, you can go to our website, firstalert6.com.
Nana Marie Cade at the safety desk this morning. Aging is something many people, all of us, will face, but experts say staying physically, mentally, and socially healthy as we get older starts when we're young.
I know. Maybe you don't think about it too much, but the impacts that you have on your life now in 30s, 40s, 50s, that's going to impact you later on in life, say when you're 60, 70, 80, and it all starts with maintaining that healthy, balanced diet. We talk about it so much. You also want to keep your body active, of course. The CDC says the average adults need at least 150 minutes of moderate intense physical activity every week. This one's tough, maybe for us, but you should also try and get between 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night.
We can add more healthy years by making small, consistent, healthy daily choices.
It's also important to stay connected. That means being engaged with people around you. That, of course, can help with loneliness and isolation. You want to try and remove some trip hazards, things like loose cords from around your home, so that you can help prevent injuries. And you also want to stay up to date with your preventative health care routine, going to those doctor's checkups, getting your vaccines. That'll help set you up for success later on in life.
Pesky things now, but in the long run, yes. Okay, we're back after this.
A lot of people anxious for fall to begin, but with the muggy weather, it's still feeling like summer around here, right?
We got some cooler temperatures yesterday,
Yeah?
but you still got the humidity, you got the rain moving through, so dew points are still in the muggy range. That's not going to change. It doesn't look like that'll change today or tomorrow, even with some of these rain chances moving through. None of them will take the humidity out of the air. So the muggy meter shows us where we're going to be here through the course of the day into the afternoon. That won't change a ton, so bank on the humidity. This little round of thunder showers staying southeast as expected, sneaking in around the Clarinda area, Maryville, and Falls City. That's not the main round. This will be the main round, developing down here in parts of Kansas. Could even see some more development back behind this initial line, and this will be moving east. Clouds will fill in out ahead of it, and then we'll get the showers moving in along with. So the clouds are the story this morning. We should still be able to warm through the 60s into the low 70s, but again, the clouds will inhibit our ability to warm all that much. I think we get to about 76, 77 or so right before the leading edge of any showers and thunder showers move in, and that would be close to 2 o'clock. We'll monitor this to see if it tries to sneak in here a little earlier. Some isolated development out ahead of this obviously would bump up that time frame, but that would mean 3 to 4 to 5 o'clock, put some scattered showers and thunder showers in. That would likely impact kids walking home from school, parents trying to go pick those kids up, and your drive home from work. So the evening commute today could be the messy one after it was the morning one yesterday. By 7 o'clock, those are mostly done. Could have some lingering showers, very spotty though, into the evening and overnight. That's what we'll pay attention to. So the rainfall potential over the next 72 hours, most of us stay less than an inch. That's what these light blue shade or dark blue shadings show us here. But a few locations, if you get caught under a thunderstorm, would try to sneak up above that. So don't be surprised if 1 or 2 places can get up over 1 inch of accumulation. Now, there's some more rain chances on Friday. We'll watch these move through. Not so much in the morning. It'd be more of a late afternoon, evening thing. There's 3 o'clock, scattered thunder showers drifting through from northwest to southeast. This has started to look a little more prevalent on model. So not all day rain tomorrow, but after 3, we'll watch some of those move through and could have some thunder showers around, nothing severe, for high school football Friday night. Then all-important Saturday forecast as well could have some morning thunder showers around. The key is, can we get these out of here before we try to play football down in Lincoln? Odds lean towards yes, but there could still be some around in the early afternoon. I'm just hoping those are out of here before they play football. I would watch for some impacts to tailgating, though, on Saturday if you're heading down there.
Okay, good to know. All right, we see in the 10-day, the first official day of fall is there. Is it going to actually feel like it from that point on?
Unfortunately, I think the answer is no. A lot of 70s and 80s, not as cool and dry as the stretch we had earlier on this month. We got 60s and 70s. Ultimately, each day's temperature kind of hinges upon when the rain chances arrive. Some of these are late, some of these are early, but we never completely take the humidity out of the air, unfortunately. So the muggy meter's mostly in that muggy range over the next few days. So we don't get that fall feel quite yet. We'll see what we can do as we get a little closer to the start of October. But I think a lot of 70s and 80s and probably a fair amount of humidity still.
Thanks, guys.
It's not all good news here.
That's okay. That's okay.
I think that's fine.
That's okay. You know what was okay? The first few minutes of my drive into work, very foggy. So people still have to deal with that.
Yeah, and it's going to vary depending on where you're at. Some people have that experience. Some people have just no problems with the visibility, and you're kind of getting that sense here by looking at the different views around the metro. Notice the top right, that's I-80 as you're heading over the Missouri River, and you have all that fog in the distance. You're also seeing it here in the bottom right as you're looking downtown area. So it's going to vary depending on where you're at, and even certain spots may change as you're driving through them. So be aware of that. That's one factor into our commute that you should be aware of. Otherwise, a lot of it has been just construction impacts, and you're seeing that on L, where we've had varying lane restrictions for a little bit now. That's mainly been impacting westbound the last couple days, but I've noticed eastbound pretty consistently as you're getting around 60th with some slowdowns this morning. And we're still going to be looking at another few weeks where we have construction happening on L, so keep that in mind. Elsewhere, these are new areas. 120th northbound between Q and L. You're looking at one lane travel scheduled today and tomorrow, and that may not seem like that big of a deal, but keep in mind what I-80's got going on. A lot of people are using 120th as an alternate route. And then a little further to the north, you've got Blondo, where we've already had some delays showing up in the approach to this small area with some varying lane restrictions just west of 120th. This lasts into the middle of next week, so be ready for some possible slowdowns there. Mostly avoiding crash issues this morning. That's the good news. We still have the tail end of some work happening 40th and coming from an earlier crash, but not impacting traffic there. It's mostly just the construction impacts and picking up that traffic, and hopefully we can keep things pretty quiet as the rest of our Thursday goes on.
Which he did, yes. All right, it's about 100 days in office for Mayor John Ewing. He shared his highlights with First Alert 6.
Now, once he was sworn in, Ewing says he found out there was $100 million available for affordable housing. The catch is those funds are not available until 2032. Well, Ewing says he and his team pushed to speed up the development, putting $40 million toward projects right now.
I'd like to lead with a sense of urgency. So 2032 and 2033 didn't work for me. So we had a lot of conversations within the organization about how we could possibly speed that up and make money available now when we have a need.
Ewing also expressed optimism on the timeline for the streetcar and crossroads projects. We also got a first look at the city's plans to welcome Terrence Bud Crawford home with a parade and community celebration.
It's set for next Saturday, September 27th at 10 a.m. You can see the full parade route on your screen right now. It'll start at 19th and head down Farnham, ending at 10th and Harney. Afterwards, a community celebration is planned at Heartland of America Park.
Omaha has had a number of amazing athletes. We've had a number of amazing people who have done things across this country and across this world. There has never been anybody that I'm aware of who has dominated like he has.
In his victory over boxing legend Canelo Alvarez, Crawford became the first man named undisputed champion in 3 different weight classes. Oh my gosh, he's just incredible.
I know it.
It'll be fun to see him officially be celebrated as well. All right, still had a new attraction for all theme park lovers.
Yeah, first look at the one-of-a-kind ride. Stick around, you don't want to miss it. Welcome back, everybody. A new attraction is making its way to Dolly Parton's theme park.
Ooh, it's called Nightlife Expedition. Dollywood says the attraction will take you through the mountains, both in flight and through a coaster experience. At times, you'll also feel like you're on a whitewater raft. Dollywood says this helps expand the Wildwood Grove story and Dolly's story about growing up in East Tennessee. The ride will be the park's most expensive one, costing $50 million. It's set to open up in the springtime.
What is it? Is it a roller coaster?
I don't know.
I believe so.
This is the mystery of it all.
Oh,
I guess so.
a secret.
I have always wanted to go there. I've heard the food is fantastic there. Has anyone been?
Nope.
No.
East
All right.
Tennessee's supposed to be pretty beautiful too.
On
Yeah.
the list for sure.
And I love Dolly. Oh, is that it? No. Okay.
Road trip.
I know. I love Dolly. I've heard. I'm like you. I've heard great things about the place.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get ready for our update in the Today Show. You can watch it here on streaming or over our air.
Have a great start to your Thursday.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Good Thursday morning, everybody. It is 7:26. I'm Cerise Cole.
And I'm Erin Hartley. Let's get right to Jarrett Lansford, who has a brand new crash to talk about.
And heads up for Papillion drivers. This is 96th where this crash is, just off to the north of Lincoln Road. And we are starting to see some delays showing up as you're heading northbound on 96, approaching that intersection with Lincoln. So be ready for that. This is likely going to be a slow area that you want to use some extra caution in. Aside from that, a lot of our issue with fog. You can see how that varies around the metro, and that's the case as you get outside the metro too. So your visibility may change as you're going about your commute. Getting some of our normal spots to start to slow down as well. Watch eastbound Dodge, northbound JFK, eastbound 370 as you're approaching I-80. Rusty.
And all eyes are going to be on the radar again today. Not from morning rain. Most of that's to the southeast and not posing a huge threat. It's this developing in Kansas. That'll roll in and possibly make the evening commute the messy one today, as yesterday it was all about the morning commute in the rain. So pretty quiet on the radar aside from the very southeast corner of the viewing area. The rest of that is just ground clutter. And rain chances start to pick up. 2 o'clock onward into the afternoon and evening hours with some scattered showers and thunder showers. Unfortunately, the worst of it may be this 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock window, right as kids are getting out of school and you yourself are trying to make your way home from work. So watch out for scattered storms. Thank goodness it doesn't look like widespread severe weather, mostly just lightning and downpours as we go to about 77 for the high.
Breaking news we're following. 2 people are in the hospital after a crash. Officers were called to 40th and Cumming just after 6 this morning. We're told both victims' injuries are not life-threatening. We will update you on air and online as soon as we know more.
It is 7:28, and we're back with another update for you in 25 minutes. We'll see you then.